Thanks for joining us on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Cheney. It is Friday, July 11th. Tonight, taking a look at some of the new wildfires that broke out this week in the state of Utah. We're going to start with the Deer Creek fire in San Juan County. Just from last night, it's grown an estimated 2,000 acres, swelling from 4,000 to more than 6,000. I'm sure we'll see growth by tomorrow. Now, earlier today, the Grand County Sheriff's Office announced they were shutting down Geyser Pass Road and evacuating people from their cabins. I did speak to the sheriff, who told me that the wind shifted and they felt more confident about not pulling people out of those cabins after their initial post. This is on top of the 250 people evacuated in San Juan County near LaSalle and Old LaSalle, which is to the east. 2 primary homes have been burned so far. 2 secondary homes were lost. That's the preliminary information we have, along with 5 outbuildings, which included a U.S. Forest Service facility. Another 20 homes are threatened. This afternoon, I talked with a spokesperson with the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands about the issues crews are facing fighting this wildfire. What were the characteristics that made this thing just take off?
Yeah, the conditions were right, just like you said. You have the gusty winds, you have the extra dry vegetation, and you know as well as I do, we're sitting on lots of extra fuel loading. So it just takes that little bit of a spark, and that's all it did. It took off, unfortunately, and we've got a pretty nasty result because of it.
To be put in the perspective of a firefighter who's out there working structure protection or just trying to get there to do that very job, and to hear that there are homes or cabins on fire, what is that mindset like? You've been in this game a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty disheartening. It's unfortunate when these types of disasters hit close to home. I've had several instances where my home was very much impacted or close to being impacted. So it can definitely pull and tug on your heart a little bit, and you feel for these folks. You feel for them, not only for, you know, we don't have a cause yet. It's still under investigation. But you know, it's one of those things. It can happen to anybody. That's the point.
Given the fire activity nationwide, I mean, just with our neighbors in Colorado, is it a little bit more difficult to get the people you want right now because things have picked up rather quickly here, and we still have 3 larger now incidents in the state in addition to this one?
Yeah, it is. Our Great Basin coordination group is pretty well exhausted. We are very limited on resources right now, and that's why, you know, it impacts the communities here, right? It impacts, and it's devastating to those folks that have lost homes or land. But think about it as well. You've got folks that are out there fighting these fires, and they're taking their time away from their homes, their lives, to try and help and to support these efforts. So, you know, do everyone a favor and thank a firefighter right now, because it's a tough job right now. Nationwide, we're all here trying to accomplish one goal, and that's to, you know, contain this fire and try to do it safely and try to minimize the damage that, you know, we can't unfortunately change what's already happened, but hopefully we will be able to get more resources here in the next coming days so that we can mitigate any more loss.
How hard is it to respond quickly to a place like LaSalle?
It took me almost 4.5 hours to get here yesterday from my home. So yeah, it's a little ways out of the way, not a real direct shot to it. You know, and that's another challenge. It's what it is. Unfortunately, our Colorado folks, they're seeing a lot of active wildfires. I think had things been a little bit different, there could have been some support, but we are all so stretched. It's where we are right now, unfortunately.
Just to think about the fact that we lost some structures, but also what happened with Forsyth. I mean, this has been when you think about the loss of property this year, it's been pretty devastating compared to the years that I've been here. I mean, I know everyone goes back to the Bryan Head fire, but so far it's July 11th. And typically our fire activity really picks up now, but we've already had some really devastating sort of circumstances. I mean, have you thought about that on part of your long drives, of just how much we've already seen at a loss this year for people that call Utah home?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Kelly Wickens, my counterpart, and we were chatting about just the increase from this year from others that we've experienced. And that was actually brought up. I had mentioned that I have not seen this many homes and structures lost since I started this position, and I started almost 5 years ago. So yeah, Bryan Head, it was definitely a thing, with Penguin Lake, but we are seeing a ton more wildfire activity impacting these communities specifically. You have your fire restrictions in place. That was an order that was put into effect a couple weeks ago for all state lands, unincorporated state lands. There's other areas that are also in a restriction. You can go check it out. Like I said, the Dixie is one of them. The Manti LaSalle is one of them. Both have very large fires on them right now. There's other things that you can do. Our wildfire prevention campaign is called Fire Sense. That's our statewide campaign. Go check it out, firesense.org. Learn more on how to prevent wildfires. The holiday weekend's coming up again. We have another fun round of fireworks, unfortunately. Please use some common sense, please, and do your part and recreate responsibly.
His daughter called him Superman. Some remarkable new video from the Deer Creek fire tonight, showing one of the locals there hopping on a loader to build fire line right after the fire sparked and moved quickly towards homes. Watch this.
Building fire lines as fast as I can. This is the only thing that's stopping it.
Chloe shared these videos with me, but I spoke with her father, who's on that loader, just a few minutes ago, actually tonight. He told me that he and another neighbor constructed some quick fire line to save a few homes. The houses you see in the video were saved. And they said in the postings on social and to me on the phone, shout out to the Cool Gang. Now Cool as in the clothing brand, because one of the guys there works for Cool, has a big involvement there, who was also on the ground there working to save these homes, and also 10 other brave people on foot who saved people's houses and property yesterday as the Deer Creek fire moved fast in Old LaSalle, Utah. More evacuations happening tonight thanks to the White Sage fire burning in northern Arizona. This is near the Utah border, just south of the state line. The current evacuation areas are north and south of Jacob Lake and the north rim of the Grand Canyon National Park. Yes, that big park there, evacuation orders. Highway 89A to Fredonia, south of Kanab in Utah, is closed. Now estimated to be 8,700 acres. The fire was first reported on Wednesday, believed to be caused by lightning. Officials say it's being fueled by winds and dry conditions. Behind me, a live look from St. George. And if you could see just on the top of the mountain there, it was more prevalent yesterday, but the smoke from the Forsyth fire is still there. Winds increased the fire by 775 acres on the southern edge last night as it moved into unburned fuels. Officials say it remains active near Burger Peak and Signal Peak in the Deer Flat area, but is still in the proposed containment line. Inversion overnight increased the smoke in the area this morning as well. And last check, the fire is about 14,500 acres, 58% contained. Finally, a quick update on the Gap fire burning 7 miles east and southeast of Scipio, north of Scipio Lake. Remains at 671 acres. Good news, fire officials say it saw no growth yesterday. 30% contained, and this morning the Central Utah Type 3 Incident Management Team took command of that fire. The common theme along these fires, wind, dry conditions, I'd imagine maybe some low relative humidity. And the fire that sparked yesterday, Sean, that was in that portion of southeastern Utah, that was right in the middle of the red flag warning, which really highlights the conditions here. Humidity behind you, is it still low in some of these fire-prone areas?
Yeah, it's still low, and it's really not going to increase that much, unfortunately. We're just in the midst of our drier months. The driest time of the year is now all the way through the month of August, and you can continue to see just how low the humidity is statewide. Much of the area down towards southern Utah Utah, less than 10%. So we're not getting any help in that department. Luckily, those fire warnings that we did have in effect earlier this week, they have been allowed to expire as the winds get a little bit better. That should continue to help those wildfires and the firefighters acting, of course, on those fires. But it's still a bit breezy for much of the central and southern part of the state with some 15 to 30 mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that certainly isn't good news. The good news today, though, is the temperatures have been cooler than normal for much of the state. 89 degrees right now, light winds of the north-northwest, 13 miles per hour. And later on this evening, for those venturing outside, it's going to be a gorgeous evening. No matter really where you are across the Wasatch Front, clear conditions with temperatures cooling down into the 60s as we head into the overnight. Unfortunately, this is all going to change. Look at those temperatures as we get into the weekend and into Monday. Hot weather making a return. We've seen a little bit of rain to kick off this month. Could we squeeze out some more rain? I'll have that for you in the First Alert weather forecast coming up.
Sean, thank you. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, the Tabernacle Choir's broadcast music and the spoken word is about to hit a milestone. Hear from the broadcast leaders about what they say the program means to their listeners. The Tabernacle Choir will celebrate a major milestone this weekend. This Sunday will mark their 5,000th week of music and the spoken word. The first radio broadcast, July 15th, 1929, right before the start of the Great Depression. It's remarkable. And we asked, why has music and the spoken word stood the test of time for the past 96 years?
I do think what is unique is that it produces in people feelings that are unique to them and unique to what they are facing in their life.
The primary purpose of this program is to help people be filled, to be renewed, to be able to experience these feelings that President Levitt is talking about. And I believe when you ask what is it that has allowed for this to endure for so long, is because the primary purpose is not to entertain. If it was, there's so much competition out there that you have to compete with. But when our primary purpose is to help someone be filled and renewed, that is something that we can do.
There is a certain recipe for this, and so we don't want to reinvent the recipe. But of course, we're always trying to do things better. And just in the past 4 years, I think that we've made some really great progress into making the program be as compelling and as appealing as possible to as many people as we possibly can.
Well, it's about that time to check back in with meteorologist Sean Kelly with our first alert forecast. And obviously, the heat is something that people are talking about this time of year all across the state. But what I was most interested in is what we talked about last night here on the show is the graphic behind you.
Yeah.
The sun is now starting to set earlier. I was just getting used to the late nights there where I had to shut the blinds and it was still light out.
Brian, it smells like football season.
I'm so ready.
Right?
Go
Yeah.
G-Men. Maybe.
I hope so.
500 maybe.
I don't need another disappointing year for our G-Men.
We got Jackson Dart. Go Utah.
Yeah, you know what? We've got some shorter days, but that eventually will mean some cooler weather. Unfortunately, we're kind of in that hottest part of the year, which I'll get to in just a moment. But yeah, the days are getting shorter. Tonight is the first night that we're not going to have that 9 p.m. sunset. 8:59 here. We're losing about a minute and 15 seconds of daylight each and every day. High temperature so far today, 91 degrees. It was cooler than normal today. I hope you were able to get outside and enjoy it because we are going to see some changes here. Those temperatures are going to start to soar. And as I mentioned, we're now at the point here, the next 4 weeks, that we typically see the hottest temperatures of the season. So there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Once we get past the next month, we'll start to see this 95 go back down to 94, and we'll start to cool things down, at least climatologically speaking here. For those enjoying the Bees game later on this evening, it's going to be a gorgeous evening. Temperatures are going to be cooling down into the 70s for the folks heading home from that in the stadium. Looking good. We've got clear skies up and down the Wasatch Front. We're into the 80s up and down the Wasatch Front. And the air quality, you notice the visibility is looking pretty good here, and that is nice to see anytime we've got that cooler air moving in, the winds of the north, that usually gives us at least some fresher air. That will change though as we get into the day. Tomorrow and Sunday we'll start to have some air quality issues again, maybe a little bit of a light haze as well. 76 the current temperature in Park City. That's a good reminder. Park City, Deer Valley area, that's one way to beat the heat heading up into the Cottonwood Canyons as well. 91 Vernal, you can still see the heat down towards the south. 92 in Cedar City, into the 90s into the Delta area as well. Still a bit breezy out of the northwest, and again, we like that direction because that brings us some cooler temperatures. Still dealing with some wind gusts near 25 to 30 miles per hour. The winds, though, will settle as we get into the overnight. We've got one spot shower well about 50 miles north of the Moab area, just north of I-70. And that is about it. In fact, high pressure system will be building in. That will continue to decrease our rain chances in the days ahead with full on sunny skies. But all eyes on next week's potential change as we get into the middle of the week. This will bring us another round of some brief relief, but also a chance for a few isolated, widely scattered showers as we get into Wednesday evening. So a lot will likely change by next week, but it's not going to amount to much, unfortunately. Remember, we are in our dry season. We're into the 60s as we head into the overnight. Highs tomorrow into the 90s. We've got full-on sunny skies across much of the area. Maybe a little bit cloudier down towards the south and east. For those heading to the RSL match tomorrow evening, going to be a great one for that. Starting off hot, cooling down into the 80s as you're making your way home. And for St. George, look at the temperatures here. I mean, it's still just brutally hot, well above normal each and every day, 107 to 110, breezy conditions as well. That will continue to at least elevate those wildfire conditions. And then along the Wasatch Front, here we go. We've got one more day of temperatures right where we should be for this time of year, and then we're back up closer to the triple digits by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think we'll get there. Notice the increase of clouds, an isolated shower from Tuesday to Wednesday. There's that drop, Brian, 6 degrees for one day, and then we heat things back up. So we are in this for the long haul here. Again, our hottest months continue.
6 degrees. Thank you, Sean. I'm just trying to figure out the best time to make you wake up early next week.
Any morning.
To
any
play
morning
some
here.
early morning golf.
Any
We got to
morning.
work on that. You know, Chase's post said that we shot over 100, so I don't know if I believe that for 9, but whatever. Redeem ourselves next week. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, this 85-year-old veteran is now a social media sensation. Why this run around the bases went viral, and his message to his new fans. An 85-year-old grandfather in Illinois going viral for running the bases on a baseball field. Tom Persich's granddaughter posted this video on TikTok from a minor league baseball game. Now it's got 2.7 million views and more than 700,000 likes.
That's a lot of likes. Well, Tom says he didn't expect to get so much attention. He just wanted to run the bases to feel like a kid again.
To see these comments, the way they've been saying about their grandpa, about their loved ones and all that, and I said, if it inspires somebody, thank God for that. Life is good. Don't pass it up.
I love it. The video has now been reported by major networks like ESPN and groups like Major League Baseball.
The minor league team has also reached out to him and is considering having him throw a first pitch and announce play ball.
Yeah, give him an entire game too and a bobblehead. The Utah Jazz will wear Frank Layden memorial shooting shirts during warm-ups at the NBA's 2K26 Summer League games. They take place in Vegas. Layden's #1 jersey, which hangs in the rafters at Delta Center, was retired back in 1989. The former head coach and GM passed away on Wednesday at the age of 93.
Yeah, Layden's funeral will be held tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Cathedral of the Madeleine in Salt Lake City.
Happening now, or almost now, the annual Days of 47 KUTV Pops concert, just moments away from starting off at Abravanel Hall. Don't worry if you're missing tonight. Maybe you're kicking it back on a Friday and watching us. There's another performance tomorrow night, same time, same place.
Yeah, you'll see some friendly faces out there and some familiar faces. The concert features music from the Choral Arts Society of Utah, the Salt Lake Symphony, and our special guest artists, Lark and Spur. Tickets are free. You can get them at arttix.org.
Friendly and familiar, but not together.
Right.
Some may not be that friendly, but they will be familiar. No, it'll be a good time. Head out to Abravanel Hall tomorrow night for the Pops concert. We'll see you on Monday. Be safe this weekend.